Hello everyone! Today is January 31st and I'm about to do my, January retrospective in my journal, and I thought this would be a great time to sit down and show you my journals and how I organize them. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm first going to show you the journals themselves as well as what I use and how I set up the pages. And then I will go ahead and talk about my personal journal and do the January retrospective stuff. And then I'll do the OC journal, which is the second journal I have, and show you how I set that up if you are interested in making an OC journal yourself. Real quick, you're going to be seeing my hands a lot. I apologize for the nails. They're still being healed from the damage. I've been using this oiled top coat I showed in a previous video pretty well, so they're nice and shiny, but you can still see a lot of the damage coming through, so ignore that. So these are the two journals I have. I just bought these two off Amazon. They're from and they come in a whole bunch of colors. And this was my first one that I bought late last year. It's my OC journal. And because of that, this is the pink one. And since I didn't want to mix them up, the second one I bought is purple. Right? And this is my personal journal. And as you can see, I've already stained it. So these are dotted journals. They do come with like a ribbon to keep your page. And there's also a pouch over here that I personally use to keep stickers, but you can use it for whatever you want. Just flipping through them really quick, you'll see that the main colors I use are purple and pink. And the reason for that is when I first started this OC journal, I wanted to color code my two characters. So pink is for Hi, Florent has purple, and I think the colors look very nice together. And in the end, that stuck. So I also keep the same styling for my personal one. So in terms of doing the page design, before I actually started, I spent a lot of time looking at videos to just help myself figure things out. These are not bullet journals, but I did take inspiration from a lot of the styles you see in bullet journals. And a channel I especially watched was Chatty, I believe, who has a lot of videos on bullet journals and the like, so I highly recommend you watch their videos if you want to start out with that. However, for me, I think that if you're going to use a journal for yourself, I think you shouldn't worry too much about how it looks like inside because it might detract from actually using the journal productively. So I just kept some very simple rules. I'll open to just these random pages. This is a calendar layout. The first thing I keep consistent is I only use two colors, pink and purple, and they're both in the same pastel shade. Another thing is the lettering font I always use is always some kind of gothic lettering because it's very easy to do if you have like an angled highlighter, which are, most highlighters. Everything else is in a black pen or in a similar shade of pink or purple, and a lot of the layouts I use are very similar. So for example, I'll use this one that's just like a highlighter with two black lines, and I will use the highlighter to make the writing lines. Or here I'll just do a box and again highlighter to make things stand out. You'll see that down here too. You see it's about the same in my OC journal. The layout is different, of course, but it's the same components all the time, and I think if you do that, it will make things easier for you. Oh, this is another thing I like doing, the little bow wavy box. Even when I change layout entirely, like this one, the same things stand out, so it's always the same colors. I do also use some stickers, which I'll show you later, to decorate, but I haven't done that much in my personal journal yet. So real quick, I wanted to show you the stationery I use in my journals. This is my main pencil case at home. There's a shit ton of stuff here, like you see there's lip balm. I don't use all of these for my journals because I think the simpler you go, the easier it is. So I'll just show you what I have. These are all the things I use. I know it seems a bit a lot when I just said it's best to keep things simple, but I'll explain. So these two are just my writing pens. They are both Uniball Signos, but one is broad and one is DX. This one, the Uniball Signo broad, is 1 millimeter thick, and it is my favorite pen. Like I use this all the time when I'm like doing anything, especially at work. I have the red one all the time. I've gone through a million of these. They're really nice. If you've seen my art, you'll know I really like thick lines, and this really delivers on that. I'll try and put like a video of like the swatches or whatever. This is just the same thing but thinner. It's 0.38, which while I prefer thick pens, when it comes to journaling, I do think since I have messy handwriting, it looks better if I use a smaller one. Like, I'm not particularly neat, so using a fine pen helps things look less messy, so I highly recommend that if you have messy handwriting like me. You'll see a lot of the rest of these come in pairs of colors. These are the ones I just used to make the purple and pink highlights. So these two are Tombow markers. There's a brush tip and a fine tip. I use the brush tip a lot when it comes to making those broad lines, and I use the fine tip when it comes to just drawing the lines. I will say though, I use the purple one way more than the pink one because the pink one is a bit warm compared to the other stuff I have. But yeah, I just bought these at a local store, like a little stationery store run by a really nice guy and his cat that's on the same street where I live. He's really nice, so I like to go there to just buy stationery. These are from there. To match the two highlighters I'm using are this one, which is very common. It's a mild liner. It's just a light pink one. There is, highlighter tip as well as a fine tip. This purple one is Decot. This one only has this like highlighter tip, but it is erasable, which is very useful for me. I also have these two pens. These are Uniball one in 0.38 and 0.5. There's no reason why one is bigger than the other. It's just a mistake I made. It is what it is. But yeah, there's a pink one and a pastel purple one. I used to have a pastel pink one, but it kind of ran out and I haven't bought it. So since I have this one, it's basically the same. So I've just been using this instead. And yeah, these are just the ones I use for writing. The last two things are just whiteout. This is the Whipper MR Pasty in pastel pink. I've been using it for a while. It's refillable, so very useful. And this is just a Kokuyo dot liner. It's glue. So you open it like this and you can just use it like whiteout, except it's glue. So I use this when I have to stick pages together because I messed up. So yeah, those are all the pens I use. I usually just have them out when I'm just working on anything. Usually it's just like this and I'm good to go. Ooh, I almost forgot to show you guys the stickers I use. So these are by an artist called Kumayanki, who is based in Macau. And they draw really nice bunnies. I really like their work, and they do a lot of stickers and washi tape. I can't really show you guys this one without peeling it open, but I think you could kind of see like the bunnies on it, right? Super cute. These are the stickers I use the most because they are candy themed. Aren't they so cute? And these designs go on for ages. There's just so many and they're so cute. Like, how have we not seen dupes yet? So cute, right? I think this is where we started. But yeah, it comes in a roll like this. You cut them out and then you can peel them off the sticker and stick them on. Very nice. Yeah, I will link their Instagram if you want to support them or buy their products because they are of very good quality and I think they're really cute. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the journals. So this is, like I said, my personal one. There's no name on it. The index style is the same for both of them. I just have the numbers of the pages here in the little hearts. This one is purple based because the other one is pink based, right? So here right now I have the calendar. I have a commissions page, a store page, a YouTube page, and also a reading page that I'll show you later. I'm going to flip to an empty calendar just to show you first. So the way it's set up is one page is pink, one page is purple. I'll just have the month here, the year, and a little calendar. I have a bar for satisfaction and productivity that I'll rate, and I also have a little area for monthly things. So monthly mood, monthly song, monthly scent, and monthly interest. I'm someone with a lot of hobbies and interests that move really rapidly, so I thought this would be interesting to track. I also have a few lines here just to write any notes or just to write any dates or anything I have to write down. You'll see in January what I'll have. Since I'm a hag and I'm boring, I also have an income tab. At the end of this year, I'm planning to do a big career change kind of thing. So I thought it would be actually kind of useful for me to properly track my income. So you'll see here I have commissions, which are just art stuff. I have classes, which is my regular job I teach. So what I get there. I have my store, which I launched in January this month, right? And that is where I sell my art prints. And I also have nails here because I do want to start selling nails. And I know this is a bit preemptive, like I haven't started yet, but I put it in all the months. If I need to change it, I will, so we'll see. Another thing I have here, which I find personally important to me, you'll see I messed up here. Do not be too precious with your notebooks, it doesn't matter that much. First, I have songs that I really liked in the month, and then I have purchases, like major purchases, because I do have a big spending streak. All right, let's go to January then. So you'll see here, I do have a lot of stuff filled out. You'll see I started tracking YouTube subs because YouTube is actually my interest of the month. I started tracking every time I hit milestones just because I thought it would be good to look back and see the growth. I also have appointments like hair salon appointments as well as the Lunar New Year over here. At the very end, I put some notes on how I would like to spend the next month. So I said draw more next month because I haven't drawn a lot of OC content at all. And I also want to spend less next month because, my lord, she's spending. I have a few purchases and songs already written, but unfortunately, I have another purchase to add. I'm so sad. I know the purchases look a bit crazy. Don't panic. I'm panicking, but don't panic. The reason why is I actually start all my months on the 26th. So everything that I spent here is also considering 1 week of December in the past. And I'm trying to start the months when the months actually start. So these last two are purchases I would consider to be in February because they're after the 26th. But I'm trying to fix that and make things start when the months actually start. The reason for the 26th thing is just how my money tracker works. So it's a bad habit that I probably should fix, but I haven't fixed yet. So yeah, 26th, very important date for me every month because it means it's the next month to me. That's when I consider it to be next month. I know it's stupid. Anyway, moving on, I have a few songs written here. You'll see I was in a very, I guess, old songs, but mostly French songs mood. I have Renan Luce La Lettre, My Immortal Evanescence. It's the band version, it's not written. I have La Jument de Michel de Nolwenn Leroy, which I really like. It's such a throwback song. I have Je viens du Sud by Chimène Badi, Quelque chose dans mon cœur by Elsa, and My Chemical Romance, Helena. And those are the major songs I've had this month. So what I thought I would do is fill out some of the stuff here, as well as talk about some of my thoughts. I will also fill the income area, but since that's a bit private, I'm not going to show it, so thanks for understanding. So in terms of mood, I would say generally it's been pretty positive. I think since it was the new year and the like, I've been quite motivated, and I was also very interested in doing a lot of things, although this last week here there was a bit of a dip because since it's Chinese New Year, I have a lot of free time, and generally when I have a lot of free time, I don't do as well, which is, I know, a bit stupid, but yeah. For song, I think I would have to write the Je viens du Sud. So this translates to I come from the South, and it's by Chimène Badi, who is an amazing singer. It's a ballad that I've been listening to all month because there's something very nostalgic about it. If you don't know, I am French, and I am from the south of France, like near the Mediterranean, and I haven't been back in like a lot of years, and I feel a lot of like nostalgia for it, especially with the lyrics that she describes the South with. It just is very evocative for me and it makes me miss the South. I feel like living in the south of France is basically very peak. Like, I don't know how to explain. There's a reason why everyone goes there on holiday, right? I don't know, it's just something else, and I kind of miss it, and I've been listening to a lot of French music that's been making me think about these things a lot. For scent, I think it has to be this bad bitch right here. It's Teodoros Kalotini's Pear Gelato. It is a bad bitch, let me tell you that. I will make a perfume video at some point, but I've been spraying this every day when I have to go out. It smells so, so, so good. It is honestly an amazing perfume. Even if you're not someone who is attracted to pear necessarily, it is truly amazing. You have to sniff it. Actually, I bought it as a sample. I had 5 millimeters of it and I used it up entirely. I had to buy the full version. I was like, ugh, waiting for it for 2 weeks without my pear gelato. But yeah, definitely scent of the month. For interest, I think it will have to be YouTube. I've been putting a lot of effort into it and I'm really happy I started doing it because it's something I've wanted to do for a while. And with how social media is these days, I really feel like being able to have a space where you're not really curating content too strongly, but rather just using it to express your hobbies and interests is quite important. So I really want to make YouTube a place where I can just share whatever I'm interested in and things like that. Even though I know that's not really the best in terms of how you market and grow a channel, I think it's what's important for me right now. The really like commercialization and very corporate aspect social media has these days is honestly very sickening to me. So I think that's why I'm very interested in just, you know, having this YouTube channel and just making it all about my interests. But yeah, moving on. In terms of satisfaction, I think I would only, you can't see here, but these are like, there's 5 squares. Although I wasn't very productive, I was quite content. So I think I'm gonna make it 4 stars, or 4 squares rather. However, in terms of productivity, I think I'll only make it 2 just for the fact that I didn't draw that much for my personal work. So I hope I'll be able to do better next time. Okay, so now that that's done, I wanted to go back and show you what I have in my other pages. So the first one I have is my commission page. The commission and the store page are laid out in the same way. It just starts with my 2025 goals. And for 2025 commission-wise, it's to first be consistent with adoptables. So I want to do at least like a pair every 2 or 3 months. So I don't know why I did this many, but yeah. I'm planning on some Valentine's Day ones, which will probably be up in the next 2 weeks. And the other thing is I don't want to take too many commissions because I need to have personal time to do personal work. Unfortunately, I think I failed this in January already. I have days off right now, right? And I was like, don't open commissions. Well, I did. I ended up opening commissions because there's such an easy way for me to feel productive with my time because I'm unable to motivate myself to do anything otherwise. Here, there's a monthly retrospective where I'm just gonna write the amount of commissions I took and the amount I made from them. Here's just some extra space I made for notes. The store page is very similar. There's just my goals. Here it's maintaining consistent sales in my own store, as well as some mini goals, for example, leaving store envy, making some new products, and just consistently covering monthly costs. So I have some product ideas here, for example, making OC journals, maybe, if anyone's interested. And I wanted to make more Milky Pings, but for Identity 5, but it's a bit difficult for me to do right now, so maybe that'll have to be later this year. I also have a monthly retrospective here, like amount of orders and the amount I made from them, just so I can keep track of them. And I have some notes here. The only note I have here is that I want to buy a thermal printer to facilitate printing labels, but that's not something I've bought yet. Here is my YouTube spread. This is just going to be a continuation of the first page. It's just I haven't filled the first page yet, so yeah. I have a few milestones for 2025. My goal was 1,000 subs, but I think I'll hit 1,000 subs before December. And I have some stretch goals like 3,000 or more. But yeah, I'll just be happy if I can grow consistently and stuff like that. I would like to be monetized in the year, but monetization is not my main goal with YouTube, hence why it's not on the income page. So yeah, I do have a channel concept because I think it's interesting for me to make sure I still have, like, I don't lose sight of it, right? So it is a hobby channel for varied interests tied together by my personality and general aesthetic, which is like pink, cute, and cunty shit. And it has a lean towards fashion, art, and games. So the keywords here is that it's a hobby channel, and the main thing that keeps things together is the fact that it's mine, right? I have consistency. This is for how many videos I make every month to see if I'm actually like keeping up with it. There are some ideas for recurring videos, such as drawing videos, which I haven't done yet, and Infinity Nikki styling videos, which I've done a lot of. On this page, I have some video ideas as well as the date I've completed them. They're not that serious. Some of them I won't do, some of them I will do, some that serious. Over here, I have another area for materials I want to get. For example, a tripod, which I did get, a microphone I did get, and a camera, which I haven't checked yet, but I did actually purchase a camera. Ah, fuck me. I'd like to thank my friend Annabelle, who knows a lot more about technology than I do, clearly, and she was able to recommend me this camera, and I saw her using it, and I was really motivated to invest in it because it seems very portable and easy to use. Hopefully I'll get that soon. It's just that it's Chinese New Year right now, so it hasn't delivered. The final page I have here is just a reading spread. The reason for this is, although I'm someone who really loved reading when I was growing up, because I have so many things I want to do in my day, I usually don't have the time to read anymore, and I haven't been reading very consistently. Although I did read some bangers last year. I did read Black Beauty again, revisited the whole Darren Chan series. I listened to the audiobook of 1984. What else did I read? I read The Secret Garden. The thing is, a lot of these are for work, and I would like to go back and reread things for myself. So right now, I've started The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole, and honestly, I'm only about like 50 pages in. It's not very long. It's hilarious. I'm enjoying it very much. Down here, I have just, it's kind of like a reading tracker to show how many times I've read. January, you can see I've only read twice, yesterday and today, but that's because I made that resolution only recently. I watched my friend Annabelle again, of technology fame and chinchilla fame. I watched her reading retrospective. She's someone who's taken on the habit of reading a lot more than me, and I do think it is something very good to do, so she's motivated me to make a more conscious effort into reading the stuff I want instead of just saying I want to read something and then not reading it. So yeah, that will be a good goal to have here. You'll see on this side, I have a little sticker. Very cute. These are just plain lines, and before I talk about what they're for, I just want to let you guys know you don't have to be like, don't worry about your pages not being super good. As you can see, my lines are wonky here, then I locked in for the rest. If you mess up, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's whatever, just go for it. Don't let that stop you from enjoying using your journal however you'd like. I might decorate this place with more stickers later, but that's for another day. This is just for writing quotes that I enjoyed. I've really been interested in the concept of commonplace books. However, I didn't want to multiply the amount of journals I have because I feel the more you have, the less you're actually going to use. So I thought I would just write them down in the same personal journal I have now. I could just list the pages whenever I need a new page. And I actually did have a few quotes I wanted to add in today. So this is my Kindle. It's like an old one I got last year. I did read some stuff last year that I have highlighted that I would like to include. Oh yeah, another thing about reading is that last year when I first got my Kindle, I was pretty good at getting into the habit of reading a bit every night, before bed. However, I figured out that's not the best for me because I get so caught up in my other hobbies that I end up going to sleep at around 2 or 3 a.m. on a lot of days. And because of that, I usually just want to get to bed and I don't have time to sit and read. So instead, what I think I'm going to do is try and switch it around and make myself read in the morning instead, because that's when I have a lot of time usually and I'm not in a rush to go to sleep. I tend to wake up very early. I can definitely do it. So I did read Carmilla last year, and I have some quotes I want to include in there. So I'm gonna go and write them in right now. Generally, the type of stuff I like to read is stuff that is not modern. It's stuff that's not set in like a modern setting, because there's something about modern settings that just like make me feel so disinterested. Not saying that books set in modern times don't have value, it's just that I'm not personally drawn to them. Yeah, so I like reading very old-timey looking stuff. And the quotes I like, similarly, are not any quotes that are particularly meaningful or impart life lessons. It's more so that I love the way the language created a certain image. I'm back. As you can see, there ended up being a lot more quotes that I liked that I thought, so I made a second page, right? But yeah, these are all the quotes I have for Carmilla, and I'm hoping that I can include more pages where I just add all the quotes I like. And you may be wondering, why are you writing all of these down when you have them saved on your Kindle? The reason for that is I'm not someone who would revisit my Kindle for quotes. but I would revisit a journal. The second thing is the act of writing things down, in my opinion, makes a difference for me. So I'm someone who tends to write things down and do things by hand before doing them with technology. I don't know, lots of bangers in Carmilla. So that's what I have for my personal journal today. Boop. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move to my OC journal. And this section I don't think will be as long because there are a few things I don't really want to show, but let's go ahead and take a look at it anyway. So just like my other journal, it does start with an index. You'll see this one's very filled because I've had it for a longer time, and it's also decorated with the stickers. Look at them. Cute. So there's the calendar, there's OC profiles, some drawing and writing ideas, so I can come back to it because this is not just an OC journal, it's about how much writing and drawing I invest in them, and that's why there is a calendar, which I'll show you later. There's alternate universes at a glance, summaries of them, some old writing that I transferred to this notebook, some lyrical studies, OC notes, and you see I've coded them. So F1 means Florent 1, H1 is High 1, FH is both of them together, right? I also have some writing from certain dates, more symbols, and another AU that I used here. And yeah, so that's how I've been organizing things. I'm not going to show you everything, like I said. When you're writing for OCs, I think there's a tendency to feel like what you're writing is a bit cringe, and I definitely feel that way, so I don't really like to show it much because this is mostly for me. And the reason I made an OC journal is because I'm someone who spends a lot of time tweeting about my characters, and I figured I should actually have a concrete place where the information I tweet is written down, so I'm not just like throwing them onto the internet and that's it. So I wanted to make a more conscious effort in doing that. So the calendar setup is different from my other journal. There is this flap here, which I think is very cute, and I did take this idea from Jessie Corin, who, like, when I saw how she did this, I was like super impressed, right? But yeah, so credits to her for this kind of layout. I did adapt it to me, so I started this in September. You'll see I have my little calendar, some notes, and also a meter for how much art and writing I've done. And the reason there's these little hearts here is that there's a key. So there's art is pink, writing is purple. There are some lines for which alternate universes I'm most focused on, and the little hearts are for which character I focused on. So for here, for example, 2 art pieces were based on Florent. Or down here, there were a lot of high-focused arts and writing. I also wrote a lot of things. So for example here, I wrote that I had a lot of commissions in October due to financial setbacks. If you guys didn't know, in October, my phone broke and then my laptop also died. So I had to buy a new one. So I had to do a lot of commissions. I also moved to Blue Sky here, which I think could be credited by the huge boom in productivity I had in November. So yeah, I like looking at these and seeing how productive I was and the like. You'll see here though, in December and January, I've not been productive at all. You see, very unproductive for no reason. I'm gonna try and do better in February. It is what it is. So yeah, I have that for all until next September. So you'll see here, I have a spread for both of my characters. High is pink and he is purple, like I mentioned. There's just some summary and a little quote from both of them. These are from my own writing. I used the darker pink and darker purple for quotes here. And I also have them. They're so cute. Hedonistic, that's him. There's also some things about like styles and interests, right? Which you might know if you know my OCs already. This is just the really boring drawing ideas and writing ideas pages, as well as the dates I was able to complete them or the page that I wrote them in. This is an alternate universes at a glance page. So for example, this is my fallen angel alternate universe. There's just a little summary, some themes, some symbols, and here we have their roles and how they feel towards each other. And you have that for every single one. The way I set up my AU summaries is I have basically some ideas, a little quote, both of my OCs and their personal summaries, the synopsis in more detail, and key ideas and words because I just love seeing cunty words next to each other. The next page is for brainstorm and notes. You'll see that I actually didn't do it on this one. The vampire AU does have one, and I used this for a character relation chart as well as a settings one. I used the one here as a layout, like to just draw out the main setting of the story. So you could use it however you want. I mean, you don't have to do this. I'm just saying how I'm using it. This is also the page where I transferred my old writing. There's the dates I wrote them in. And yeah, that's it. That's it really. So this is the page that I set up for my OC notes. The way it works is I just write the code up here. I write what I'm talking about for the character, some main ideas, some notes, and I don't know, just writing about the ideas. And I also have a quote for them that relates to the theme of whatever I'm talking about. I have also a lyrical study page that I do now and then. This is for Love Me Dead by Ludo, and the reason I picked this is because I feel like it kind of matches my OCs a bit. I'm just picking away at the quotes and thinking of how they relate to my OCs and stuff like that. This is not really to analyze the song or anything, it's just kind of to dissect what I liked about the song and how I relate them to my OCs, or any ideas that come up in them that I want to use for other things. So yeah, that's basically how it looks. I haven't continued that far. I mean, there is quite a bit written if you think about it. But yeah, that is my OC journal. I highly recommend you having one if you just want to focus on developing your characters. I know a lot of people play Dungeons and Dragons and may want to, I don't know, have a notebook dedicated to the story or their characters and their relationships. I think it could be very fun to do. And I think also having things done physically, like in a physical notebook as opposed to on an app or digitally, does make a difference. So if you feel like you can't connect with having something like a Google Doc on your characters, consider maybe just getting a book, any notebook, you might have one lying around, and just going for it. Sorry I didn't show too much about my OC journal. I feel like it's a bit like too personal. I mean, you guys can read the stuff that I showed if you want, but yeah, there's nothing too crazy about it. Yeah, so those are my two journals. I hope you enjoyed listening to me just ramble on about whatever, and maybe this motivated you to pick up a notebook for your own journaling or for your OCs or whatever it is you want. Just remember, it doesn't have to look good. To me, making things look at least a minimum aesthetically pleasing does make a difference in how much I enjoy using a book. So that's why I do have, for example, set colors and set layouts. However, you don't really need to do all that because the goal of a journal isn't necessarily to show it to someone. I mean, I did show it here, but you know, it's not here for you to just post pictures of it or things like that. It's mostly here to serve you. So do go for it if you're interested. A second thing is you don't really need to invest a lot of money in a journal. You can use any pens you want that you already have. You can use a notebook you already have. You can buy a really cheap one. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. So don't feel pressured into spending a lot of money in order to have the most aesthetic book, the most aesthetic pages, and don't feel stressed about messing up your pages or whatever. It's really something you should be doing for yourself. So clear your mind from these ideas and worries. Like, just see if you can use it for yourself and if it helps you. And you know what? Not everyone journals. Maybe you don't need one. So it's okay. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!